My name is Ty Evans. My wife and I run a little business called TS Mules in Chester, Utah. We train mules for the public. We sell a few mules and then we teach clinics all over the country. I get asked quite often about raising colts and when a good time it is to start colts and things like that. And so I'd like to kind of share our program and what we would recommend doing and what we would do. First off, you have to begin with a really good mare. That's the most important thing, I think. Not just any old mare will do for what we like. We like our mares to be broke well, trained, ready to ride. Then you need to have a mare that has a good disposition, that's friendly and easy to deal with, because once that foal arrives, you want to be able to go in there and handle that mule immediately. You also got to have a good jack. I like a jack with a good mind that's gentle and easy going as well. So when the foal's born, I would like to immediately start handling that foal. From the minute it hits the ground, you'd want to dry it off and spend some time with it and let it get to know you. And from the beginning, you need to be establishing a foundation of respect. And one thing I find quite a bit is people can get their mules plenty friendly and gentle and things like that, but they forget about the respect part. And pretty soon they're raising a colt that's just all over them, and they can't get a handle on them. And so it's important to get them not only friendly and gentle, but you need to keep them respectful. And so from the beginning, we'll be instilling this in our colts. And about a couple months down the road, we'll start riding that mare, and that colt will come along and follow along, and by this point, our colts should know how to lead at a decent level. I don't expect it to be anywhere near perfect, but it should be leading pretty well. And we'll start taking that mare and that foal up in the mountains, and before that mule is ever even weaned off their mother, they will already have crossed water and rocks and logs, deadfall. They'll know how to act going down the trail. They'll be exposed to dogs and all sorts of things like that. After we get the foal weaned, then it's time to do a little bit more work, and at that point I might turn it out with maybe some of my older mules that kind of know the program, and they'll start learning how to act in a herd, and the other mules will kind of teach that colt respect. By the time the colt is a year old, I will already have had that colt in the mountains numerous times on short rides. I don't mean to take them on anything huge, but they'll be on short rides. They'll be exposed to the mountains and kind of know how to place their feet and how to control themselves in tough situations. And they'll have a few miles on them already. And by the time they're a year old, they'll already have a saddle on them. I'll teach them how to accept a bit in their mouth. I'll start by letting them take up a rope in their mouth, and then I'll start putting a little bit in there, and we have a little saddle, just a little kid saddle for my daughters, and we'll even put that little saddle on them, so so they can get used to things like that, and tarps and ropes and flags. And I'm also still teaching them how to lead well, halter driving, disengaging hindquarters, moving their front quarters around, backing up. They should know how to do all this off the halter by the time they're a year old. Now, all the time I hear people saying, "Oh, I don't want to touch my colt because I don't want to mess it up. I'll wait." Well, that's fine if you want to be some kind of cowboy. But I would like, by the time my colt is 2, and if they're ready to ride, I would like to have them so good on the ground and so quiet and respectful that pretty much at 2 years old, 2.5, I pretty much just step up in the saddle and ride. And all the while they're learning respect and discipline, and they're learning how to survive in the world, and they're learning, most importantly, that I'm their leader. And we still produce really friendly mules, really gentle mules, but they have respect for us. And at 2 years old, I can kind of ride them lightly, you know, maybe at home in the round pen and a little bit in the arena, and then some easy rides out, pretty gentle rides, you know, just a couple miles. And by the time they're 3, we'll start going on some real rides, some, you know, going a few miles and putting some trail behind them. So that's a few things I do, getting the colt ready and raising a colt. But know that there's a big difference in having a colt that's respectful and kind and gentle, and then having a colt that's really friendly and gentle. And you know, I get these folks all the time that their colt comes in our training program or something, and it's all over them. And they've sure enough made their colt kind of gentle, but then the mule thinks it's the leader, and it'll want to push me around and doesn't know how to handle on a lead rope. They think it's broke to lead, and I tell them in the first week that, man, your mule doesn't even know how to lead. And they say, well, I got him there, didn't I? And I'm like, well, yeah, but you've missed the boat. They're not soft on a lead rope. They have no respect for me. And so that's really important to get that done in the beginning, right from the get-go. Get those colts respectful and handling well, and you'll enjoy it better. Now, if you want to be some kind of cowboy, some kind of bronc rider, which I don't want to be, I want to be a horseman or a muleman. But if you want to be a cowboy, then go ahead and you can just turn your animals out till they're 3 or 4 or 5, and then you can go to doing all that work, and then, you know, you'll have to be catching up on all the stuff that I did, you know, when my colt was brand new born. And it'll take you a little bit more time. You can sure enough get it done. But those are some things I recommend. If any of you have any questions about raising colts or starting colts or anything like that, feel free to call my wife or I. Our number is 801-598-7465, and you can give us a call and we'd be glad to answer any questions. Now, remember, there's no right or wrong way to any of this stuff in the equine world. Everybody has opinions and ideas, and everybody has different things that work for them. That little piece of advice I just give you is what works for us in our program, and it does well for what we do and the type of mules that we want to produce. But it's not the only way. So anyways, we'd love to hear from you if you have any questions, and maybe we'll see you at one of our clinics sometime. Thank you very much.